Okay. So we go from blockbusters to a kind of an interesting story that's been going around. Well, I won't say going around, but it's been um, the trend as of late. Okay, and that's AI and everything else. So Tom Hanks, okay, recently just came out and made a couple of comments that were very interesting. And we are starting to see it more and more in movies. So this is the comment he made, okay, and this comes from to us from Variety. He says that, quote, anybody can recreate themselves at any age. Death is no longer the end of an actor's career. Tom Hanks theorized during a recent conversation on the Adam Buxman show via BBC. Why? Because artificial intelligence deepfakes, the actor said. Both technologies will be on full display at the Cannes Film Festival thanks to the world premiere of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which used AI to help de-age Harrison Ford so he resembles his appearance from the 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark. The first time we did a movie that was a huge amount of our own data was locked in a computer, literally what we looked like, was a movie called The Polar Express, Hanks said, referring to the 2004 Robert Zemeckis Christmas movie. We saw this coming. We saw that there was going to be this ability to take zeros and ones, binary, from the inside and turn it into a face and a character. That has only been a billionfold since then, and we see it everywhere. Hanks said that because of AI and deepfake technology, it is now possible to pitch multiple movies in which would appear as a 32-year-old. Such a possibility wouldn't end when Hanks dies either. Anybody can recreate themselves at any age they are by way of AI or deepfake technology. I could get hit by a bus tomorrow, and that's it. But performances can go on and on and on, he said. Outside the understanding of AI and deepfake, there's nothing to tell you that's not me and me alone. And it's going to have some degree of lifelike quality. Now, there's a certain artistic challenge to that, but there's a legal one. The Oscar winner says that, quote, all the guilds, all the agencies, and all the legal firms, end quote, are currently in discussions on the, quote, legal ramifications of my face and voice and everybody else's being our, our intellectual property, end quote. Hank said, without a doubt, people will be able to tell if that's AI. But the question is, will they care? There are some people that won't care, that they won't make that distinction. For Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, AI was used to pull stills from Harrison Ford's face from movies across his filmography. Those images were rendered into using his de-aged younger face. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute because it's quite important. Okay. Um, I have one of our viewers, Kevin, here says Mission Impossible domestic. Oh, I think it'll be more than that, Kevin. I think it's going to have Mission Impossible. I was saying it earlier. That is one of my biggest movies of the year, and I think that it's going to. You have to understand something about Mission Impossible is that the thing about that is this: you have a film. Number one is part one of the last film. Okay. It's a huge franchise. Number two, you have the goodwill of Top Gun Maverick and Tom Cruise. Number three, they're tying all of the things up together. And lastly, it is right in the middle of the summer. It is in that July 14th slot. Okay. It's going to have Indiana Jones is coming out the 30th of June. It's going to have a couple weeks to breathe, and then people are going to go back. I think this is going to be a huge, huge, huge movie. Will it hit $1 billion? Maybe, maybe not. will probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of $700 or $800 million. But I think that number, what you're talking about, is low. So, I mean, I do think it's going to be big, though. I really do. So, getting back to what I was saying about um, the Polar Express and his comments, I think that the simple fact of the matter is this: technology has developed over the past 20 some odd years, right? I mean, this is an image from the Polar Express way back in 06. Okay. And he's right. We are able to do whatever we want to do as far as de-aging. Okay. And that's why you have movies like The Irishman costing 150 or 170 million dollars. It wasn't the actors. Okay. De Niro, Pacino, Pesci, they got some of that, but a lot of that went to the technology. And not a lot of people wanted to touch that film. So Netflix took that on. Okay. That being said, I think there is a difference, okay, between a movie that has an AI character, okay, and then a certain scene, okay, without dialogue. So, I mean, take a look at this real quick. Now, this is the AI that was used, okay, because of this. So this is from Rogue One. Okay, now on the left you have the original image from her from Star Wars. Okay, on the right, okay, you have the image that was used in Rogue One. Okay, when she's handing R2 the data chip, okay, or the thing that had the plans on it. There was no dialogue said. It was a quick shot, and that's it. Okay, and I think that's fine. Now the fact that because she passed away, okay, unexpectedly passed away. They were doing, they had to rework the Rise of Skywalker completely, and maybe that's one reason why the film didn't perform as well as it could have. I mean, look, it made over $1 billion. Well, what am I to say, right? The point is the story just wasn't there. Now you take a look at something like in the same film, you take a look at Grand Moff. Okay, so this is Tarkin. Okay, now could you tell which one's which if you had to put money down? Okay. So on the right is the actual picture or actual person. And on the left is the AI. So when you're doing shots like this, now remember that one shot of him was only when he was looking at Vader and he had his arms, Vader had his arms folded and they were looking at the brand new Death Star, which goes into A New Hope. That's fine. But when you start to have actors, if an actor dies suddenly and they have to deliver dialogue, then that becomes a problem. Because it's one thing to have it only there for a certain shot. It's another thing to have them act. And because, I mean, this is why Michael Mann always tells the story of how one of my favorite movies, and we did it for the March Perfect movies, is Heat, okay, with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. And they talk about how they filmed it and man did almost 20 to 30 takes, okay? And he used the majority of take 11, okay? And because there were little nuances. So if anybody who's seen the film and, it's an amazing film, go see it. But that coffee shop scene is one of the best scenes. It's one of the top 25 scenes in cinema, as far as I'm concerned. You have Pacino who's leaning in. You have De Niro who's leaning out. You have nuances by De Niro. You have nuances by Pacino. And it's not because of the admiration is there. Okay? I'm talking about the simple fact is they There we go. The simple fact is that it's difficult to have an actor recreate something. And as far as people not caring, yeah, they'll care. They absolutely will care. Because I've said it before, you can have the worst actors in the world and the best story, and the movie will be average at best. You can have the best actors in the world and the worst story, and it will be crap. Okay? The fact is this. This is, and he's right about something else. This is going to be a problem for legal things down the road because you've got likeness. It's a very, very slippery slope. Because when an actor signs a contract for it to appear in a movie, if that actor or actress, God forbid they die in the production, okay, or whatever, are studios then going to turn around and say, well, we can use your likeness and image and finish the movie? I mean, that's scary. Because they can get them to say anything they want, right? And it's about legacy and everything else at that point. There's a major, major thing. And this is why AI and deepfakes are so scary. So, Tom Hanks is not wrong. It's not wrong. Now, if you have something like what they're going to do in Dial of Destiny, where they are, and by the way, that budget's almost $380 million. If you have something like that and they're just doing the face, that's different. That's different. Because you're having the actor actually recreate the performance or create the performance. But if the actor isn't there and then you have the AI do it, that's when it gets very, very scary. Anyways, guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about the comments you said? What do you think about AI in general? Do you do deepfakes? Do you use AI? What do you think about it used in performances? How far would you go if you were a studio? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll get back to everybody.